Hey there! So this is going to be my November favorites. I know I haven't filmed a favorites video since my June favorites, which is like a few months ago. So I apologize for not keeping up with my favorites videos. So I kind of compiled some things that have been my favorites through the past few months, but for the most part these have just been my recent favorites, so this is going to be like sort of like a current favorites type of video. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started with skincare. The first thing that I've been absolutely loving has been the Fresh Soy Face Cleanser. And I know I mentioned this in my Sephora haul. Well, it was the haul where when I got my new bag, and then I also had a MAC and Sephora haul. But I got this then, I think that was about in August sometime, and it's just about gone. Like there's like the final drops left. But this has been amazing, an absolute like standout in my collection of cleansers. This has been a lot better for me than the Purity Cleanser by Philosophy. Although I will still purchase that, I find that this works a little bit better for me in that it's more of a gel cleanser and it's a little bit more of a thicker substance to it, and so it goes on a little bit nicer, and I feel like it really removes better than the Purity Cleanser. So I really, really highly recommend this, although it is pretty expensive. And then the next sort of like cleanser thing that I've been absolutely loving has been the Neutrogena Makeup Removing Towelettes. And this is like the original one, I guess, the blue one. And I always like to get them in these like plasticky container, like packet ones, instead of the one that comes in the little like bin thing, because this is easier to transport. I can throw this in my bag if I'm going to stay over at someone's house, and I just will be able to take off my makeup and it wouldn't be a big bulky thing that it comes in. And I thought, oh well, maybe they have it packaged in that big container because it's like a dispenser, but it actually is just a container that you can put this inside. So I feel like this is a lot better. And then recently I purchased the pink grapefruit one. So I'm gonna be trying this too, but I'm hoping that it will work just as well as this one because I really, really, really like this one. And then some other skincare favorites that I've been loving has been sheet masks. So I have these sheet masks that I got from the Face Shop. I have more, but of course I use them. But they do have like different properties to them, so some are brightening, some are moisturizing and stuff like that. And so how they work, I'll show you the diagram. So there's, I don't know if you can see it, so it's like kind of like a mask like that, and then there's like holes for the eyes and the nose and the mouth, and then you like wrap it around your face, and then you leave it for a long time, and then you can pat the excess on your face sort of like a serum. But I've been absolutely loving these. It just makes it a lot easier to use than sort of like a cream mask or like a mud mask. So then you could just put it on and then dispose of it afterwards, and you don't have to deal with a sink and washing it off and all that stuff. So I've been really, really, really loving these. And that is pretty much it for skincare. In terms of like foundation, I've been really leaning towards using the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Foundation and the Revlon ColorStay Whipped Foundation. And in the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet, I am in the shade 65, and in the Revlon ColorStay Whipped, I am in the shade 160 Rich Ginger. And so I've been kind of going back and forth between these two. This one for more days when I want to be a little bit more matte, and then this one for days when I want a little more dewiness to my skin. But I absolutely love both of them. They both deliver very high coverage for my face. It does a really good job in making sort of like a nice flawless finish to my foundation. So I absolutely recommend both of these highly, highly. Except this one is a little bit more expensive because it is from Sephora, but I do think it is definitely worth it. This has lasted me a significant amount of time, so I really, really like this. And then this, the Revlon ColorStay Whipped, has quickly become my absolute favorite drugstore foundation, although I'm not too fond of the packaging with the jar sort of packaging, because it's more sanitary and easier to use with a pump sort of mechanism, but this has still worked really, really well for me. And then keeping on the trend of foundation, I've also really been loving the Neutrogena Mineral Shears Powder Foundation, and I'm not really a big fan of like powder foundations, but this one has worked incredibly well for me. The coverage is really nice. it feels like a nicely, like finely milled powder, so I really like this. It goes on really smooth, and then there are days where I just don't really want to do a full-on foundation, liquid foundation powder kind of face, so I just reach for this, get a kabuki brush, buff it around, and then powder down really quick, and then I'm on my way. So I absolutely have been loving this, although it is a little bit more pricey for a drugstore. I think the regular price on this is like $13 or $14, but I got it when Neutrogena was on sale, so it was like $10, which is still kind of a lot for a drugstore pressed powder, but I definitely think it is one of the better ones that I've tried. And then also, when I haven't been using that as like to set my foundation, I've been continuing to use the Makeup Forever HD powder, and I always get the small ones because it's easier to like throw in my bag. But you know, I've always used this, and I've never had a problem with the sort of white cast issue that people seem to have with this, because I use a lot of blush and bronzer, and so it kind of cancels that part out, so it still works really well for me, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for a good setting powder. That's pretty much it for like foundation. In terms of other like cheek products, I've been really loving the Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes. So I have these two here. This one is in Mellow Wine, and this one is in Heather Silk. Mellow Wine is sort of like a pale peachy pink. It has a tiny bit of shimmer to it, but just a very subtle shimmer. It's really pretty, very natural flush to the cheeks. And then Heather Silk is sort of like a bubblegum pink, and it kind of looks a little bit intimidating in the packaging, but it's actually not as bright as it looks, especially if you use a light hand and a very good blush brush. Although these blushes are pretty highly pigmented, especially for drugstore, so I would highly recommend just tapping your brush in there and then tapping off the excess instead of, you know, swirling it around and all that, because you will definitely get sort of like a clown effect if you swirl your brush in there and then apply it as blush, because it is pretty highly pigmented. But I absolutely have been loving these. And then another sort of cheek product that I've been absolutely loving is the Sleek Contour Kit. And this is in the shade Medium. And so it looks like this. I know I mentioned this in a couple of videos before, but this is the contour like shade, and this is the highlighting shade, which I never use. So I pretty much buy this specifically for the contouring shade. I absolutely love it. It's like the only thing I use to contour, except for when I just want to wear bronzer, but I absolutely love this. And then I've noticed that the packaging has sort of changed in terms of appearance. So this is the one that I have now, the new packaging, and then this is what the old one looks like. So the old one has like this really big Sleek written, and then there's like face contour kit on the front, and then this one just has Sleek makeup in the front, and then it says face contour kit in the back. But it's basically the same thing. I would show you the old one, but then I've like used it all up, so you can see the empty pan over here, and you can see that I've never used the highlighter because it's way too shimmery for me, but this is definitely a product I will continue to repurchase. I've considered buying the Makeup Forever contouring kit. I think I don't know exactly what it's called, but it is pretty pricey, so I'm still gonna kind of hold off on purchasing that because I absolutely love the Sleek Contour Kit. But that is pretty much it for like face and cheek products. In terms of eye products, I've been really gravitating toward using two eyeshadow palettes recently, although I haven't really been doing many eye looks lately because I've been doing a lot of work-related things and I can't really do my eyes for work because it's not work appropriate. But I absolutely love this Too Faced Matte Eye Palette, and I love this because I haven't really seen that many like 100% all matte palettes, and what I really like about this palette is that these two brown shades up at the top, these two over here, this one is called Chinchilla and this one is called Coffee Bean. But what I love about this palette is that I can actually fill in my brows using those two brown shades, and so it makes it easy for days when I just really want to bring one palette with me and I want to do my makeup, and I can really just use those to fill in my brows as well as define my eyes. And then it comes with a lot of like highlighting shades as well, and they're all matte, so it looks very nice and very natural. So I've been really loving this. And then, of course, my Naked 2 palette by Urban Decay. It's just kind of a staple in my makeup collection. It's just really easy to use, and I've always reached for the matte shades that I have in this palette as well, especially because it has a very highly pigmented matte black as well as the matte highlighter color. It works really, really well. I use this to highlight my brow bone nearly like every single day. So I don't know if you guys can see, but it's like I hit major pan on this, and it's like a super like deep like well in there. So I'm probably going to buy the full size the single shadow for it, because I know they have a single shadow for that. It's called Foxy, I think, and I'm probably gonna need to get that before I use that all up in the palette. But those are my favorite eyeshadow palettes right now. Another eye product that I've absolutely been loving has been the Maybelline Colossal Cat Eyes Mascara. So it looks like this. It sort of looks just like the Colossal mascara, although it has this sort of like animal print up here. And so the brush is a little bit different too. It has sort of like a spoon brush. It's kind of like curved, and then it has pretty spiky bristles as well. So it delivers like the same sort of like dramatic lashes that you would expect from the Colossal mascara, although it does give them a little bit more flair. And so I really like this mascara in that they're nice defined lashes, but they're not like as bold as if you were to use the falsies, which I don't mind the falsies, but it's just not really everyday wearable for me. And this one is a little bit more like more subtle, but you do get nicely defined lashes. So I absolutely love this. And I think that is pretty much it for eye products. In terms of nail polish, I haven't really been doing my nails all that frequently, but ones that I've been loving recently have been My Private Jet by OPI. And I know I wore this in my last video, but I really love this color, especially for fall, going into the holiday season. So it's like a really pretty purpley, brownish with like holographic glitter in it, and some lights it looks a little bit gold. It's just a really, really pretty shade, and it looks very flattering on your nails and very luxe. So I really absolutely love this, especially for the fall and winter season. And then the next two nail polishes I have are by Zoya, and they're both sort of like green nail polishes. The first one I have is called Irene, and this one is a pretty straight up emerald green. And I'm not usually fond of green, but I figured this would be great for a holiday. And I actually bought this originally because my grandma on my mom's side of the family, her name was Irene, and so this is sort of like my way of remembering her because she did pass away. So I have been using this pretty often, so I've been loving this color. And then the other one is called Yara, also by Zoya. And I think I mentioned this in another favorites video in the past, but this is a really pretty, sort of like a mossy green with a hint of goldish, orangey goldish glitter, kind of flaky glitter. So I really like this. It looks really flattering on my nails. As I mentioned before, I'm not a huge fan of green, but this looks very nice, and it's very wearable with a lot of my wardrobe, so I'm very happy that this has worked out for me, because when I first bought it I thought, oh my god, I can't wear that all the time, but then I realized it just looks very flattering and makes my nails look very pretty, so I have been absolutely loving that. And I think that's pretty much it for my nail polish favorites. Moving on to like non-beauty favorites, I've been loving my vintage Moschino belts. It is the black patent leather belt with the gold hardware letters. So the letters kind of shift around, so you kind of have to like align them when you're wearing it. But I've absolutely been loving this. It's sort of like a nice like statement belt, especially black and gold is particularly great for fall. And so I've been really absolutely loving this and trying to use it as much as possible, because I don't really have that many statement belts in my wardrobe. So I try to utilize this as much as possible. I also did a couple of blog posts where I'm wearing this, so if you guys are interested, I'll have the specific blog post linked down in the video description. Also the link to my blog if you just want to look at it in general. And then another sort of like fashion related favorite that I've absolutely been loving has been these boots. These are the Jeffrey Campbell Litas in beige wood. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, so they're just basically the standard Lita shaped booty with the sort of I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like a wood grain print and texture to it, but I've absolutely been loving these because they are a nice, pretty bold, yet somewhat neutral shoe. They're kind of like a statement shoe, although they do have sort of like a neutrality to that because they are tan, and tan is very wearable, especially through every season. So I absolutely love these. I actually got these on Black Friday, which is kind of pretty recent, but I've already been loving them, so I thought I'd share them with you guys because they're amazing. And I actually have a couple more Jeffrey Campbell Litas that I've ordered because it was Cyber Monday, and I ordered them from a couple different websites because they came out to a little over $100, which is a lot cheaper than like $160 or $200, which some of them were originally. And then my last favorite, which maybe some of you guys may have guessed, has been my bag. And I have been loving this so much. This is my baby. I've named it Zippy. I know I've mentioned that in my my video where I got this bag, but this is my Alexander Wang Rocco bag. This is the Rocco with the black lambskin and the black nickel hardware, which sort of looks like gunmetal. But this has been my dream bag and then some. Like, every day I use this, I'm like, oh, so happy that I bought this bag because it just, I don't know, like, it was definitely worth, like, saving up for and definitely worth, you know, investing in. And it just goes so well with everything that I wear, and I get so many compliments on this bag because I know that there are a lot of knockoffs out there and a lot of people who make similar, like, replica-looking bags, but then I know people can recognize the fact that this is an actual Alexander Wang bag, and they, like, compliment me on it. So I'm just so happy that I bought this, and it just means so much to me, and is definitely, like, a huge piece of my wardrobe, especially since I've been wearing it, like, every single day. But, aside from that, that is pretty much it for my November/current favorites. What's on my nails this week is Country Club Khaki by Orally, which I don't know if you guys can see because the sun is kind of like glaring on my nails, but yeah, pretty neutral. I had to have neutral nails for work, so I just, you know, decided to have this. But definitely check out my blog if you guys haven't checked that out already. I'll have the link down in the video description. And I will be having my holiday giveaway sometime very soon, so definitely look out for that. I got all of the prizes organized, and hopefully I will be able to film that sometime very soon for you guys. And I'm hoping this video isn't too long, but I just want to thank you guys for continuing to watch my videos. And that is pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!